Personal branding advice: 12 ways to create a perfect online presence. If you want recruiters, employers, professional contacts, and just about everyone to know what you care about and what you're good at, you should monitor your online reputation. Here are 12 quick steps you can take to make sure your internet image aligns with your goals, aspirations, and life dreams. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm very happy to have you today. I hope you are doing marvelous. I'm doing fantastic. And if you are doing as great as I am, you could grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Let's roll. The first thing you want to do when it comes to creating the perfect online presence is to Google your name. You want to start by Googling your name, right? You want to see exactly what is out there when it comes to you. You want to see especially results on the first 2 pages, right? Because it's very important to understand that the first impression is always the right one. So when it comes to the online world in which we live today, the first page of Google results is the first impression about you online, at least. So you want to pay attention to things that could be negative for your reputation, that could be counterproductive for your professional image. You want to pay attention to those things very specifically. You want to get into every website, especially the websites you don't recognize. If you're lucky, most of your data is coming from the top social networks. I'm talking Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, and that's great, right? Because as long as you have done the right work beforehand, so that everything shown there is positive about you. Now, the weird thing is, is one of those pictures that you took probably in college 10 or 20 years ago or 5 years ago, and where you were not in let's just say in a quote unquote not so good situation. Probably you were drunk or you were doing stuff that you wouldn't want your kids or grandkids to see. So now the idea here is you have to know, and you have to make a list. You have to make a list of each website where you appear and what your impression is. Is it good? Is it bad? You have to write it down. Again, do this for the first 2 pages. And you can try it for Google, but also try it for another search engine such as Bing. So you do it for Google and Bing. That way you know exactly what's out there around your name. Number 2, fix incorrect or inadequate information if possible. Now, what do I call incorrect? Incorrect is, for instance, you've been linked to a website, or if you happen to be one of those people who have a very generic name, those names that you can have like, John Smith. You can have 1,000 or 1 million John Smith in the United States, or, Jose Gonzalez. I mean, you have names that are in every country has that. Names that are very, 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 very popular. And if you happen to be linked to a website where you believe the information is inadequate or incorrect, you need to fix that. Now, how do you fix it? You can do it 2 ways. You can do it personally. Now, depending upon the errors to fix or the inadequacy, quote unquote, the inadequacy to correct, you can do things personally by contacting the admin, the company that hosts those websites. You can reach out to the company itself and say, listen, here's the situation. You have to write a letter, probably get, it's a little tedious, but it's worth it. So you basically send them a certified letter with the receipt, and you are able to track down how you can fix this. You also can get professional help. So you have some companies that specialize in online reputation mitigation. What they do is they're usually called reputation management firm. What they do is they'll basically take care of things from there. Sometimes they could contact a local newspaper to delete a negative story or an angry former client about who made a comment about you. You can also, for instance, these firms, they can also create a website for you, and we'll talk about that in the next phase. But the thing here is that you want to put as much positive content about you so that the negative info appears on page 4, page 5, or page 6. Nobody really looks at page 4, page 5, or page 6 unless they're doing a thorough background check on you, or you're running for a political office and journalists are just digging. If you're just a regular Joe like you and me, if you're just a regular Joe like me, you probably just want to take care of the first 2 or 3 pages on Google search results or Bing search results. All right. Number 3, to create a perfect online presence, nothing is better than having words coming from you. So create a personal website, right? This is a very powerful because it allows you to set the stage for what you want people to think about you. And like I said, you have 100% control over it, right? And the good thing is that it might show up at the top of search engine results if you do the SEO correctly, right? So this is very important. Oh, and the cost is not that much. I mean, nowadays you have a lot of companies that allow you to create a relatively easy and cheap website. Of course, professional looking website. You probably need to buy a domain to register it. You have to build the site. Now there are templates out there, so you don't have to even build the site yourself. All right. Another thing you can do, and this is number 4, write reviews on TripAdvisor. Now, this is very important because TripAdvisor is a highly trafficked website. If you want people to know what you care about, what you're good at, start writing reviews. Don't say, just show. Let's say you believe you're an accountant, you are a plumbing expert. As opposed to saying it just to start reviewing books and equipment and other stuff on Amazon, for instance. Or even, I'll talk about Amazon later on, but right now, let's just write things on TripAdvisor. Now, TripAdvisor, the good thing about TripAdvisor is that it's not just about traveling. People think it's about traveling. No, TripAdvisor covers everything from hotels to restaurants to attractions to museums, you name it. And if you do this, you are basically increasing your SEO, the power of your personal SEO. And the good thing with being a reviewer on TripAdvisor is that you can use all the resources of the TripAdvisor website for free. You get there are a lot of perks. So you can read the large number of traveler articles, itineraries, and trip reports for free. You get access to tens of millions of accommodation, attraction, and restaurant reviews for free. And you get the advice of numerous people from around the world on the multitude of forums for free. Now, the thing here is that, the more you participate, the better. It's like this forum called Reddit where you get karma points. You're able to put in your effort into the system, and the system will give it back to you. And gradually, your name will pop up on the first page as an expert in that particular field you're trying to define yourself in. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still continuing a conversation today about 12 ways to create a perfect online presence, rather. Now, number 5, you can become a reviewer at Amazon. I started talking about that in the last section. Amazon is not just about books, but you can review books. You can review all the millions of products that Amazon has. All right. It helps you establish a passion and credibility in a field, right? And the good thing is that you are basically, showing people what you care about and what you're really good at. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to show people that you are very good at social media analysis, right? So by reviewing books, let's say you review 10 books, right there and there, people will know right away that you are passionate about the topic because you read 10 books. Even if your review is only one line or one sentence, the ability to do it already tells people you are passionate about it. Now, if you are productive enough to write a full-fledged review, to write a 1-paragraph or 2-paragraph well thought out review, this can even boost your reputation even more, way more, because you are providing context. You're telling people that you've actually read the book, that you've taken the time to think it through, that you've taken the time to weigh the pros and cons, and you're giving a professional review. This is great. Number 6, create an impeccable LinkedIn profile. Now, LinkedIn is the world's #1 professional networking website, right? We're not here talking about Facebook or Twitter or YouTube here. We're talking about serious stuff. I mean, the others are serious stuff too, but my point here is that more than 90% of recruiters find and contact job candidates through LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that your profile is impeccable enough to impress them. You want to, impress a good impression upon, you want to make a good impression upon those recruiters and HR managers, right? So have a professional looking photo. You want to fill out every section you can. You want to fill out, don't forget sections such as volunteer experience, right? Academic course, professional experience. And one important element is to have a captivating headline that uses both keywords and draws the reader in. Number 7, post regularly on LinkedIn. Here the approach is akin to what we had on Amazon or TRIPADVISor. The only difference here is that LinkedIn is more professional. It's geared towards professionals. So you want to show your interest in the industry by sharing articles, for instance, right? You can write status updates. You can even, if you have the time and the inspiration, you can take advantage of a LinkedIn publisher, which allows for longer form posts, right? So the thing here is, think about it. If you were to establish your reputation in a particular field, posting on a professional network as serious as LinkedIn can only boost your profile, can only boost your credibility, can only boost your reputation. Number 8, keep your Facebook profile professional and clean. Now, Facebook is not going anywhere. It may not be the de facto professional website now, but chances are, with over 1 billion users currently on Facebook, there's a lot of potential eyeballs who can look at your previous work experience and skill set. You never know who is searching the net. You never know who is browsing Facebook. So you want to keep that as professional as possible, right? Because you never know if your future boss or a hiring manager will see your profile and reach out for a preliminary interview. Okay, so if you want to use Facebook to play a little bit, create 2 profiles. So you have one profile that is more professional with the same picture you have on LinkedIn, with the same elements that you have on LinkedIn, and you can create another Facebook profile just to play. This could be for family, this can be for your friends, this can be for high school, your alumni, whatever. But you can have that. So consider utilizing Facebook as well as LinkedIn. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are still talking here about how to create a perfect online presence for yourself. And number 9, keep your brand consistent. Right? This is very important. What do I mean by that? It means that whatever you write on one platform, make sure it is replicated on other platforms. So whatever you have, if you have a personal website, make sure the info is the same. The picture could be different, but the general language should be the same. So it should be the same as it is on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Amazon if you have a reviewer profile, on Facebook, right? You're trying to make sure that you are consistent and up to date, right? So for instance, don't be John Doe on one website and become James Doe on another website, right? Don't say you have experience, for instance, in tech and IT, in software on LinkedIn, until you have experience in hardware on Facebook or TripAdvisor or Amazon, right? You want to keep consistent, because this is the kind of stuff that will help you create a strong brand, not a confusing one, and also help establish your credibility, right? We live in a world where it's all about reputation, but also it's all about honesty. You want to establish integrity from the get-go, so everybody who comes across your profile knows that you are controlling your own message. Number 10, delete all your previous dating profiles. Now this is very important. Why? You don't want to reveal too much about your private life. If your goal is to have an impeccable, polished online profile, you want to really remove everything that relates to your privacy. So if you have registered on one or two or three or four dating websites, delete them. That's if you have used your real name. If you haven't used your real name, then it's fine, right? But I would say, just to be cautious, it's either better to not to use your real name, or once you're not in the market, you're not in the dating market, just delete your picture at least. But if you have used your real name, I would say just put your account dormant if you don't want to delete them, right? The idea here is to remove anything that might have been a bit juicier about you, right? Maybe you put a picture in a bikini, or you were just you were bare chested, or you were drunk, whatever it is. You want to remove those images that might be a little counterproductive for the goal you're trying to reach right now, right? So any situation where you were a little carried away, when you created the profile, maybe you were younger, you were more, outgoing, or a little quote unquote immature. Now it's time to fix those things, right? Because you are in another phase of your life. So you want to think about those things clearly before making the move. So delete that. If there is any profile message, description, anything controversial that you have written, it's time also to delete it. Maybe something sexist or racist or whatever it is. People do stuff, in a moment of weakness or moments of, I don't know, like you're just not yourself. You write stuff, and then these things follows you for life. But you can go back to the website, to the dating website, and delete those things. Number 11, make new LinkedIn connections. Right, it's very important. The goal here is for you to try to expand your network on the platform, right? And this allows you also to get in contact with potential recruiters, with potential HR managers, people who might be your boss or who might actually interview you in the future. So it's always important to always connect on LinkedIn, but don't do it in a very aggressive way. Do it in a polite way, in a strategic way. Let's say, for instance, you are in a specific industry and you want to shift your career 1 month from now, or 1 year from now rather. You are in IT and you want to go into, say, personal coaching, for instance. You can start actually connecting with strategic people who are in the personal coaching industry, and who might later on at some point help you get into the industry effectively. Number 12, seek an executive volunteering role. Now, volunteering in general is great. It's wonderful, right? Because volunteering does a lot of good to this earth. Does a lot of good to you. It does a lot of good to people you're helping. Volunteering connects you to others. It's good for your mind and body. It has great benefits. It also can advance your career, actually, if you do it the right way. Of course, volunteering brings fun and fulfillment to your life, right? But I want you to pay attention to one thing. You want to seek an executive volunteering role, because what you want is, you want something that pops up on the resume as like great. You want to be, for instance, the treasurer at the local chamber of commerce. You want to be the president of the New Jersey Association of Accountants, for instance. You want to be the vice president of the Colorado Association of Lawyers. You want to be the executive vice president of the California Association of Young Marketing Experts. This kind of stuff. These things looks very good on the resume. And while you're volunteering your free time and trying to do something on the side, you're not only volunteering, but you're also getting from it, right? But it has to be an executive volunteering role. For this thing to work, you cannot just be a staff member or a volunteer that, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, if your job is to improve your online presence, you need to sort of bump up the profile a little bit, right? If the goal is just to help at a fundraising event, that's fine, do it. I will strongly encourage you. But if your job is to improve dramatically your online profile, you want to be the president of that fundraising event. You want to be the vice president of that fundraising event. So you can put it on your resume, you can put it on your LinkedIn profile, you can put it, this is the idea. All right. I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are about to wrap up today's show here, and I was talking to you about personal branding advice, 12 ways to create a perfect online presence. What are those 12? 12 ways. Google your name. Fix incorrect or inadequate information if possible. Create a personal website. Write reviews on TRIPADVISOR. Become a reviewer on Amazon. Create an impeccable LinkedIn profile. Post regularly on LinkedIn. Keep your Facebook profile professional and clean. Keep your brand consistent. Delete all your previous dating profiles. Make new LinkedIn connections. Seek an executive volunteering role. Now, when it comes to creating a perfect online presence, it's also very important to consider networking, right? I mean, networking, you don't have to network online, but you can also network online and offline. So networking, this is the call to action today. Consider, engage more in networking, get to know people. All right. This is today's call to action. So because networking provides you with strong business connections, right? You get fresh ideas, you can advance your career, you can get access to new job opportunities. Not every job is posted on the internet. Remember that, right? You get more knowledge because you are interacting with people from various walks of life. Right, you can exchange best practice knowledge with other people. You can get career advice and support. Right, so as you're working towards creating a perfect online presence, it's also important to think about networking, people who can help you. You know, you can develop long-lasting personal relationships. You can build confidence. You can gain a different perspective. And most importantly, you can also find a job you love. If you're able to find a job you love, you can thrive more in that particular job, and you can be more productive. You know, work is no longer work; it's more fun, it's more pleasure. So this is something that you have to really think about as you are considering creating a perfect online presence. All right, I will see you next time. Thanks for listening, and until then, remember, stay marvelous.